What if I told you that some churches' building looks so magnificent? They seem too beautiful to have been built by human hands. From giant domes covered in gold to colorful towers that look straight out of a fairy tale, these sacred buildings attract millions of visitors every year. Welcome back to your favorite channel. If you're new here, we explore the most fascinating stories in the Christian world. Do well to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss the next video. Today, we are taking you on a journey across 6 continents and 20 centuries to count down the top 10 most beautiful churches in the world. These aren't just buildings. They are prayers in stone, light, and glass. Stay until the end, because number 1 is unlike any church ever built. And now, let's begin. Number 10. Hallgrímskirkja, Reykjavík, Iceland. We open our list in the land of fire and ice, Iceland, with a church unlike anything else on earth. Hallgrímskirkja, the Church of Hallgrímr, stands 73 meters tall and is the largest church in Iceland. Its extraordinary concrete facade was inspired directly by nature. Specifically, the hexagonal basalt lava columns that erupt from Iceland's volcanic landscape, a reminder that in the geology of God's creation, there is staggering beauty. Designed by architect Guðjón Samuelsson in 1937 and completed only in 1986, the church took over 40 years to build. Inside, its massive pipe organ holds 5,275 pipes. Climb the tower and you'll see all of Reykjavík spreading out below you, with glaciers shimmering on the horizon. Bold, modern, and one of the most photographed buildings in the world, Hallgrímskirkja proves that in every age, faith inspires art. Florence Cathedral, Sancta Maria del Fiore, Florence, Italy. In 1418, the city of Florence faced an impossible problem. They had been building their great cathedral, Santa Maria del Fiore, Saint Mary of the Flower, for over 120 years. The walls were up. The nave was done. And right at the center, where the dome was supposed to be, there was an enormous open hole in the roof, exposed to the Italian sky. No one on earth knew how to close it. Then a goldsmith named Filippo Brunelleschi stepped forward with an idea. He proposed to build 2 domes, one nested inside the other, with no wooden frame, no scaffolding underneath. Just brick, geometry, and genius. The dome used over 4 million bricks and weighed over 25,000 tons. To this day, it remains the largest masonry dome ever built. And when Michelangelo was later designing the dome of St. Peter's in Rome, he admitted, "I can only make it bigger, but not more beautiful." Standing in the Piazza del Duomo in Florence, the full vision overwhelms you, the green, white, and pink marble exterior of Santa Maria del Fiore, Giotto's soaring Campanile bell tower alongside it, the ancient baptistry before it, and Brunelleschi's great red dome presiding over everything above. In the 15th century, Santa Maria del Fiore was the largest cathedral in Europe. It launched the Italian Renaissance. Every architect who came after built in its shadow. Climb the 463 steps between the 2 shells of the dome, up Brunelleschi's hidden staircases, and look up. The entire inner surface is painted with Vasari's Last Judgment fresco, Christ in glory at the apex, the saved and the damned surrounding him. You are standing inside the world's greatest dome, looking up at the whole story of Christian faith painted above you. Brunelleschi is buried in the crypt below. His epitaph honors his divine intellect. And 6 centuries later, his red dome still crowns Florence, the most beautiful dome in the world, above the most beautiful city in Italy. Las Lajas Sanctuary, Ipiales, Colombia. Most churches are built on solid ground. This one defies gravity itself. Las Lajas Sanctuary sits in a narrow Andean canyon in southern Colombia, 50 meters above a roaring river, built on a bridge that spans the gorge. The back wall of the nave opens directly onto the canyon rock face, where a miraculous image of the Virgin Mary is enshrined, imprinted, it is said, directly into the stone. The Telegraph named Las Lajas Sanctuary the most beautiful church in the world. Construction began on January 1, 1916, and it took over 3 decades to complete. It was declared a National Monument of Colombia in 1984 and has regularly featured on top 10 lists of the world's most original and unique churches. Every night, the entire building glows in shifting colors against a pitch-black canyon sky. The stairway leading to the church is lined with over 7,000 small plaques, each one a personal thank you note from a pilgrim who received a miracle here. Las Lajas is not just beautiful, it is miraculous. Number 7. Cologne Cathedral. Cologne, Germany. For over 600 years, it stood unfinished, and yet even incomplete, it was considered the greatest Gothic building in the world. The Cologne Cathedral in Germany is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most visited landmarks in all of Europe. Construction began in 1248 and wasn't finished until 1880, more than 6 centuries later. When completed, its twin spires at 157 meters tall made it the tallest building in the world for 4 years. Inside, the cathedral houses the Shrine of the Three Kings, a golden reliquary believed to contain the remains of the biblical Magi, the wise men who followed the star to Bethlehem and knelt before the infant Jesus. Every year, pilgrims still journey here to venerate those relics, as they have for nearly 800 years. Every soaring arch, every carved saint, every century of patient construction built as an act of pure devotion. Number 6. Hagia Sophia, Istanbul, Turkey. For nearly 1,000 years, it was the greatest church in the world. Today, nearly 1,500 years after it was built, it still fills people with awe and wonder. Hagia Sophia was originally constructed as a church in 537 AD under the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I. At the time, it was the largest cathedral in the world and remained so for nearly 1,000 years. Its name means Holy Wisdom in Greek. Hagia Sophia is a rare architectural blend of 2 major styles, Byzantine and Ottoman. The original design combined elements of Roman Basilica architecture with a central plan, and later Ottoman additions brought in the iconic minarets and Islamic calligraphy, making it one of the most strikingly beautiful and historically significant buildings in the world. The interior is lined with enormous marble slabs chosen to imitate moving water. Its remarkable dome appears to float effortlessly above the central hall, an engineering feat so radical it has never been fully explained. Hagia Sophia is more than a building. It is a 15th century conversation between heaven and earth. St. Basil's Cathedral, Moscow, Russia. There is no church in the world quite like this one. Some say it looks like a fairy tale. Others say it looks like a bonfire frozen in stone. St. Basil's Cathedral, officially the Cathedral of Vasily the Blessed, erupts from the cobblestones of Red Square in Moscow with 9 wildly different domed chapels, each one unique in color, height, and pattern. It proudly showcases bright colors and swirling patterns wherever you look. Although it is famed for its distinctive appearance, inside is just as magical. with icons and murals covering every surface. Built between 1555 and 1561 on the orders of Ivan the Terrible, to celebrate a great Russian military victory, the cathedral is one of the supreme masterpieces of Russian Orthodox architecture. Secularized in 1929 by the Soviets, who actually considered demolishing it, St. Basil's Cathedral is now an important symbol of Russia. It survived revolution, war, and atheism. Today it still stands, joyful, defiant, and utterly astonishing. Number 4. Duomo di Milano, Milan, Italy. 6 centuries in the making, 135 spires, over 3,400 statues. Welcome to the Duomo di Milano, one of the most ambitious buildings in human history. Construction on Milan's magnificent Gothic cathedral began in 1386 and was only finished in 1965, nearly 600 years later. It is the third largest church in the world by floor area, and every surface, inside and out, is smothered in breathtaking detail. Pink and white marble, intricately carved gargoyles, flying buttresses, and the golden Madonna on the topmost spire, blessing the city of Milan from above. Climb to the rooftop terraces and walk among the forest of spires, with the Alps visible on the horizon. Napoleon Bonaparte was crowned King of Italy here in 1805. And below the cathedral, excavations have revealed Roman-era baptisteries dating back to the 4th century. The Duomo is not just a cathedral. It is Milan's very soul, centuries of faith, marble, and ambition reaching toward heaven. Notre-Dame de Paris, Paris, France. Begun in 1163 and completed in 1345, Notre-Dame is the crown jewel of French Gothic architecture. 850 years of unbroken prayer, history, and beauty. Her twin towers, her 3 breathtaking rose windows, her forest of flying buttresses, her hundreds of saints and gargoyles carved in stone, all of it a monument to an age when an entire civilization poured its greatest resources into building a house for God. On April 15, 2019, the world held its breath as fire consumed the roof and iconic spire of Notre-Dame de Paris. For many, it felt like losing a piece of the soul of civilization itself. But Notre-Dame endured as she always has. After 5 years of extraordinary restoration work, Notre-Dame de Paris reopened its doors on December 7, 2024. The statue of the Virgin and Child, Our Lady of Paris, which had been miraculously spared from the fire, was returned to rightful place inside the cathedral ahead of the reopening. Notre Dame did not just survive, she was reborn more magnificent than ever. Number 2, St. Peter's Basilica, Vatican City, Rome, Italy. St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City is the burial site of St. Peter the Apostle, the epicenter of Catholicism worldwide, and by almost any measure, one of the most magnificent buildings ever constructed by human hands. Commissioned by Pope Julius II to be the grandest building in Christendom, the basilica was built between 1506 and 1626, with legendary figures such as Bramante, Raphael, and Michelangelo, all contributing. Named after the venerated saint whose tomb lies within, the spectacular Renaissance basilica proudly exhibits a colossal facade and dome, with the colonnade-lined St. Peter's Square leading up to it. Covered in marble, its floors stretch endlessly away before you, with breathtaking statues, centuries-old artworks and glittering treasures all on display. Bernini's great colonnade reaches out to you like two open arms, an embrace that has welcomed billions of pilgrims across 4 centuries. Michelangelo's Pietà stands in quiet, heartbreaking perfection nearby, and high above everything, light pours through the dome as if heaven itself were shining in. There is no building on earth that has inspired more pilgrims, more art, more tears, or more prayer. St. Peter's Basilica is, and will always be, one of the greatest churches in the world. Sagrada Familia, Barcelona, Spain. This church took 144 years to build, and in 2026 it finally reached its full height, completing one of the most extraordinary acts of faith in the history of architecture. The Sagrada Familia is the life's masterpiece of the visionary Catalan architect, Antoni Gaudí. A building so extraordinary, so unlike anything that existed before it, that it seems less like something designed by a human being and more like something dreamed by heavens. La Sagrada Familia officially reached structural completion in February 2026, 100 years after Antoni Gaudí's death. The final piece, the upper arm of the cross on the Tower of Jesus Christ, was installed on February 20th, 2026, bringing the basilica to its full height of 172.5 meters and making it the tallest church in the world. Inside, the nave feels like standing in an ancient sacred forest. Columns branch upward like trees, and light pours through stained glass in rivers of blue, gold, and crimson. Gaudí once said, "My client is not in a hurry," referring to God. The Sagrada Familia is proof that faith does not count years, it counts eternity. And there you have it, the top 10 impossible church buildings on Earth, from the volcanic concrete of Iceland to the Gothic canyon of Colombia, from the Byzantine dome of Istanbul to the Renaissance splendor of Vatican City. Every church on this list is a miracle, built not just with stone and mortar and glass, but with prayer, sacrifice, and an unshakable human desire to offer beauty to God. Which church moved you the most? Was it the colorful beauty of St. Basil's Cathedral, the grandeur of St. Peter's Basilica, or the breathtaking Sagrada Familia? Let us know in the comments below, and tell us if there's a church you think deserves a spot on this list. If this video blessed your day, please give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to this channel for more content that feeds the soul. God bless you. See you in the next video.